There's a saying that says, care about what people think and you will be a prisoner. Your need for approval is keeping you in a prison of which you have the keys. Now, I could just tell you, stop caring about what people think, and that is easier said than done. So in this video, we're going to chat about why do you care about what people think? Is it even a good or a bad thing? And what you can do about it. Let's get into it. Now, caring about what others think is not a new thing. It has existed since the beginning of human society and in every community. So why is it a bigger problem now? There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius, and he was the emperor of Rome. He has a book called Meditation. One of the quotes there that he says is that we love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. So why do we even care what other people think? So the first reason we do is because as humans, we collect data around us to sort of determine what world we're in. Think about children. Children are always observing, they're looking around, they're collecting external data to determine what to make of the world, what to think of the world. And we are also constantly doing that. We collect data around from our surroundings, we collect data from other people about what is happening externally, even collecting data from the news and all these outlets to make or form our opinion about the world and about different things. Now, in that collecting data, we're constantly looking for external approval. We're constantly looking for external thoughts. This is why trends happen, right? Where we're looking at what is in the zeitgeist that also can influence what we think about something. Think about a very famous music or very famous movies. When you don't know about that song or you don't know about that movie, people will be like, do you live under a rock? What's happening? So we're constantly getting data from other people on what we should know about the world and how we should feel about the world and what we should like or dislike. It doesn't only count about external factors in the world, it also counts for internal factors in the world. If you think about your upbringing or childhood, what you tell the child becomes what they believe about themselves when they grow up, what they believe about their ability, their sense of worthiness. So even as adults, we're still looking externally to form an opinion about ourselves. The second reason why we care about why people think it's evolution. If you think about how humans started, we existed in bands of about 30 to 50 people. Now, for our own survival, it was in our best interest to care about what those people think about us because these are the people that most cared about us, that wanted to keep us safe. And so we conformed to certain norms and certain ways of being in order to be safe, in order to be part of the band. And our brains evolved to recognizing any signals of being excluded from the band, any signals of not fitting in as pain. You literally feel like you're in pain when you don't feel like you have approval in your band. And so this is something that we have evolved. And so there is an incentive for us to feel sadness or feel unhappy when we're rejected because it's part of keeping us safe. Now, what has changed about this world is that the village, the band of 30 to 50 people has now become millions of people. It's become thousands of people. We're constantly in social media where we're seeing approval and opinions from different people. We're seeing ourselves reflected in millions of people. This is not normal. You are constantly bombarded by content from what society thinks is like the ideal beauty, what people should be doing, should be living like, how much money people should make, what success looks like. So right now, that village has become literally a whole continent, a whole nation. It's become millions of people right away. So we are constantly bombarded by signals of rejection. We're constantly bombarded by signals of comparison, and that makes us unhappy. This is why a lot of people are anxious. We are anxious because we're constantly comparing ourselves. And also then, it makes it harder to ignore those feelings of caring about what people think. Now we care about what others think who are out of our band, who are out of our village, people who don't even really care about us. Now that we know why we care about what people think, what can we do about it? Step one is understanding that people actually don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is something that I had to overcome as well, especially with starting this YouTube channel. You think you're more important to others than you really are. We're all very selfish and we all think about ourselves a lot. And at the end of the day, they're also too busy thinking about or caring about what other people think about them. They're too busy thinking about how they fit into society, how they fit into the bands that they're formed around them, how they fit into the people that they compare themselves to. They're also in their head and caring about what other people think. So essentially, we don't really care about other people that much. Now, caring about what other people think is important, especially for the people that actually care about you, the people that you're around. It's feedback in the world. It is feedback around, how you can be better, how you can improve. It's feedback around how you can form better connections with people. However, this has to be controlled. You don't want to not care at all. That's not what we're trying to achieve. What we're trying to achieve is to have a healthy balance of caring about what other people think, but also being able to achieve what we want in life. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't care at all. Actually, unless you have antisocial personality disorder, you will likely care about what other people think. However, it becomes a problem when it stops you from being happy, when it stops you from actualizing yourself, or when it stops you from actually following the goals that you want to follow and building the life that you want. Number one, really understand that people actually don't care. Even think about yourself. How many people do you encounter per day? How many things have you viewed on social media? How often do you actually even think about these people? You probably formed an opinion or judged them for like seconds and then moved on. And that's what happens. We're not as important to other people as we think we are, and everyone's world is centered around them. So nobody cares, and neither should you. The second way to stop caring about what people think is actually rebel against shame. Shame is such a powerful emotion, and it is defined as feeling of being deemed worthless, incompetent, dishonorable, or immoral. I actually think that shame is a bit important. We do need some sort of shame in society. However, when it's too much, when it's stopping you from lifing in general, when it's stopping you from adulting, when it's stopping you from actualizing yourself, forming your own opinions, really expressing yourself, that's when it becomes a problem. Shame is important in that when you are acting immoral, when you do hurt somebody, shame can be the thing or the consequence that you get that helps you fix that. However, if you do want to take back control over your life, you need to rebel against shame. If you're a person who is completely stuck in your life because you care way, way too much about what other people think, I want you to rebel against shame. What does rebelling against shame look like? Rebelling against shame actually looks like you doing the thing that you think that people will shame you for and doing it with confidence and you embracing it. It can literally look like when you're in a situation, you're embarrassed, maybe you fall in front of a lot of people. Instead of being shamed about it, also laugh about it, literally. Just laugh about it as well. And that neutralizes the effect of that shame feeling. It also lets people know that you're actually not even afraid. And they also find the humor in it instead of judging you too much about it. One of the things I've realized is when you see people actually rebel and go out there, it literally inspires other people to also express themselves. When people who are marginalized, quote unquote, or people who are not, the standard of society. They don't exist in the way society wants them to exist. When they go out there and show themselves and show up with confidence, we literally all feel inspired because they're doing something that we're all afraid of. We are all pretending that we're conforming, but we're all unhappy in the conformity. So when you do see somebody, refusing to conform and rebelling against societal standards and choosing to express themselves in a healthy way and not limiting who they are, it is literally inspirational. And literally, you can be that inspiration for somebody else. And you can be that inspiration for yourself. And I feel like the more you exist in a place where you feel deserving of existing as you are and expressing yourself and taking up space, the more it becomes easier to not care about what other people think. I want you to stop being the person that bullies yourself. I think the worst part about shame is we become the people that shame ourselves and become unhappy because of that. So don't be the person that shames yourself. Rebel against it. You never know who you're inspiring and you never know who needs to see you express yourself and be who you are, because that will give them permission to live and be themselves as well. I find that a lot of times when we care so much about what other people think, it's also because we are judging them. The judgment that we have towards them becomes how we think that people see us. We literally give others permission to judge us by being judgmental ourselves. And I find that this happens because we exist so much in our own heads. One of the things that for me was so life-changing was shifting from a posture of judgment and wanting to control what other people think and how they behave and wanting everybody to conform to a posture of service. Now, what I mean by a posture of service is existing outside of yourself. I think your life is meant for others. I think we are here to serve others in one way or the other, and we each have different gifts that help us serve others. Now, when you move yourself out of that judger mindset and just become observational, observe other people, observe how they behave, observe how they exist, and not place any moral judgment on it, you start to shift towards also living your own life freely and really tapping into the purpose of your life and why you're here. Think about it. Why does it hurt you? Or why do you feel bad when you see somebody else expressing themselves? When you see somebody else following their purpose? When you see somebody else saying, screw everybody, I'm going to do what I want to do, and they excel at it, and they're happy, and they're living their life. Why does it hurt you? It's not because you're a bad person. It's probably because you have stopped yourself from living your dreams and being who you are and expressing yourself fully. And now it's annoying you that somebody else is doing the exact thing that you subconsciously want to do but cannot do because you're not freeing yourself. Stop judging other people. Let people live freely. Be happy for other people. Empower other people. Be service-oriented and think about how can I help support somebody else? And literally, that will free you as well. Stop judging other people, because the more you judge other people, you give them permission to judge you as well. Now, when it comes to the posture of service and us existing for other people, one of the things that has helped me to stop caring about what other people think is to think about what is the bigger purpose of my life. Why am I here? I get that purpose from God. We need to transcend our current situation. And having faith in a higher being is one of the ways that you can actually also feel transcendent. What do I mean by transcendent? For me, it's that feeling that there is much more to life than just you. That there is a bigger purpose, there is a God out there, there is something higher than us making our life here much more meaningful. I found that tapping into my faith, learning more about God, learning about what I believe, and really exploring what faith means to me has helped me stop caring about what other people think. So if we are created in the image of a creator, we are also creators. So our thoughts, what we say, what we do will be the creation on this earth. Now, do we want to spend all our lives creating negativity in this world, judging other people, feeling small, feeling that we're not worthy, internalizing other people's negative opinions? Is that how we want to spend our time on earth as mini creators? I really think about that. I think of myself as an extension of God, as an extension of the Holy Spirit. So if I'm an extension of God, I need to walk on this earth with a deservingness. I need to walk on earth with an orientation towards service, with feeling that my life means more, with feeling that I'm here to create more goodness. I am here to make people feel good. I am here to empower somebody else, to inspire someone else. And once you have a bigger purpose, it's so much easier to distance yourself from the negative opinion, because you are focused on the goal. You are focused on your goal. You're focused with where you're heading. And you know that you have the backing of this higher being that you believe in. We need to think of ourselves less and have a different center that is much more bigger and meaningful. And in that way, we extend grace towards others and actually judge less, because judge not, lest you be judged. When I started thinking of the higher purpose of my life and why I am here, it has completely shifted how I show up. I literally would have not started this channel. I have started 4 channels and deleted them. And now I'm back again. And it took me some time to literally be like, what are you trying to achieve? What is the bigger purpose here? If you have this big purpose, you know where you're heading. Why should you care about what other people think of you? Why? Why should you be judging what the next man is doing? Why should you be comparing yourself? You're comparing somebody's fruit and somebody's harvesting season to your planting season. You're literally just putting the seed in the ground right now and waiting, nourishing it, pouring water on it to make sure that it germinates. You're still germinating, but you're comparing yourself to somebody who's already bared fruit, who is now in their harvest season. I think having a sense of a bigger purpose, a bigger meaning towards your life for me has been the key and has been transformational. So in the next video, we will talk about how do you even find this purpose, this bigger calling, so that you can exist on this earth with a deservingness, so you can feel useful on this earth, so you can feel purposeful, so you can actually do your thing regardless of what everybody else thinks about, because you know that you feel within you that there is something meaningful that you're trying to achieve on this earth. Thank you so much. I hope this was useful. Please subscribe, share, comment, like, share with somebody who may need this. And I hope that you know that you deserve to exist as you are on this earth. And there is a purpose that you have. There's somebody out there who needs you to actualize your purpose in order to actualize their purpose. So shed people's opinions and exist in this world with a deservedness, because you deserve to be here. Whatever you feel a pulling and a calling towards, it's meaningful for this world. Thank you so much.